Hi, I'm Marilyn, the North Hills Quilter. I'm back to show you another tip that I have with the AccuQuilt Go Cutter. This one is how to reduce waste. We all know that the AccuQuilt Go Cutter is notorious for having some scraps left over. It's not fun to throw away fabric that you spend a lot of money on. And so one of the things that I've learned with using the Go Cutter is to reduce the waste on it. I'm using my 6.5 inch half square triangle today, and what I've done is I've measured the distance for this square and I've cut my strip of fabric 7¼ inches. What I do is I've pre-marked my board and I go all the way to the edges of my board, marking my die with a silver Sharpie. I take my 7.5 inch strip of fabric, cut the width of the fabric, and I start laying this accordion fold. And I lay it right on top. I have my selvage still on there, and I'm going to lay that right on top of my die. And because my lines go all the way across the edge here, I can see, once I've laid the fabric right on top, exactly where that die blade is. So I'm going to be very careful as I lay that on, and the more you do this, the faster you get. I don't have to push down and risk cutting myself with this, but I can just lay that right on top. And I can see that the die blade is right here, and then I just fold this back, a fan fold, and I just barely need to go across the top of that, and I can see that the next die blade goes here, and then one more fold. And this is where it gets a little tricky. You want to make sure that you're going to reach here, and that's going to be just perfect. Make sure that's nice and flat. And again, I take this, notice how it's curving this way, so I want to place that side down. Make sure you're flipping back and forth lots and lots of times so that it gives a nice even bend to it. Each time it's going to fold it a little bit back and forth each way, so you get the best use of your cutting mat. Lay that right on top, push it up against here until it grabs. Once it grabs a hold of it, then I put my weight on top of the side that has the die on it. Give it a nice quick crank all the way through. Pop it out the other side. I'll pull this out here, lift this up, and the whole thing's stuck to here. As I pull this off, you're going to see how very little waste I actually have on this. Just this little tiny bit is left over, not a whole lot at all. And there we go. That's all that's wasted from this little bit. The selvage that's cut off, I've got this little tiny bit of edge here, and perfect half square triangles that are going to line up. You can sew these together and make something just like this. This is on the AccuQuilt website. It's called the Stretched Stars to Go quilt. This one is actually made using the 4-inch half square finished triangle. I made this one using the 6.5 inch half square finished triangle. Put these all together with some 6.5 inch squares. Mine's obviously a lot bigger than this one came out to be. But you can find this pattern on the AccuQuilt Go AccuQuilt website. Sewed it up in a couple hours. I've got my finished quilt top done there, ready for some quilting. Looks really good. Had a lot of fun making it. So, I hope this was helpful to you. I'll see you next time.